have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created.
So good afternoon, dear English lovers. My name is Ami Labu. I am a student of the English department. I am in L3, option literature and civilization. So today we are going to have an interview with Dr. Ja. So before going to see him, let us give the possibility to the other members of the English club to introduce themselves.
So hi everyone, dear members of the English club. My name is Yasin Gom. I'm a sophomore student. I'm the current Secretary General of this English club, and we are very glad to be part of the interview of Dr. Ja.
Hello everyone, my name is William Atambud, Bachelor student option Literature and Civilization. So as you may know, we're here today to interview our supervisor, Dr. Ja. Hope that you enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name is Chiano Tijanja, student in this English department in L3 option linguistic. We cannot wait for meeting our honorable teacher, King Ja. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Abdulaziz. I'm the current president of Gaston Bay English Club. Now it is a great pleasure and a big honor for all of us to go and meet Dr. Ja, our supervisor.
Good afternoon, dear professor, and thank you for giving us the possibility to have this interview with you. It's a real pleasure. So the first question is, who is Dr. Ja? Can you do a brief introduction of yourself?
Okay, good evening everybody. Thank you for this very nice meeting. It's a great pleasure for me to meet you and to have an interview with you. So I'm Dr. Ja, as you said. My full name is Alassane Abdoulaye Ja. I am a PhD in comparative literature with concentration on African and African American literatures. I got my PhD in 2016. But as we usually say, I'm made in Sana. I was a student here. I'm part of the 13th cohort of this university. So it means I came here in 2003 as the first year student. Yes, I majored in English and I got my MA degree in 2008. 2009 I got my master degree, and then I continued. I pursued a PhD degree, which I got in 2016. And since 2009, I have been lecturing here in English, and I also lecture in my specialty in literature, either African literature or diasporic literature or comparative literature. So I'm active in the English department. I'm active with students. I work also as a supervisor of the English club for more than 10 years now. So in short, that's what I am. And I am a member of the community, the university community for a while, because I interact with people. I exchange with people, I exchange with my students. I'm also involved in many professional activities, which is my real life. In short, that's what I am.
Okay, so thank you. So for the second question, what did your experience in the English club when you were a student of this department, and what did the English club represent for you?
Yeah, the English department represents a lot to me. I experienced many things. Because when I first came here, I was very curious and very ambitious to grow as a student. And because before coming here, I had a lot of preparation from my teachers and from my elders who had set foot on this university and who gave me a lot of impression about what university is. Before coming here, I was a member of an English club. I was Secretary General of English club. I had already been president of an English club. So I was kind of ambitious. Just my idea was when I come here, I'm going to integrate the English club. It was the experience that I will never forget in my life. When I came here as a first year student, I was so ambitious. I decided to take a key role in the English club, but people did not know me very well. It was very hard in the elections. I wanted to run for a very high position. I think it was to be Secretary General. It was very hard. I was beaten several times. Every election I was beaten, I was beaten, I was beaten, I was beaten. Until the last one, and I integrated the press committee, and I said, maybe people do not know me much, maybe my experience is not enough, so I had to wait. That was, the best thing in life, the best lesson is failure, it's not success. Because when you succeed, you are kind of overwhelmed with joy. You may forget about your efforts. You may be kind of neglecting your next achievement. But when you fail, it is in your mind. You have to say, I will have to avoid this once for all in my life. That's the first experience. And I started building a community because for me, I said, it's not a reason to say I'm not going to take a position in the English club. I had to continue because the English club was a kind of family. We used to call it our second home. So the English club was not only a pastime, come in just and waste time, as people usually say, which was not very good. So it's some years later that I held a very good position in the English club. So this is experience. Then it was very nice. I integrated my elders. It was a very cool way when I realized that at university there is socialization. People come, they show you the way your elders, they consider you as a brother. Teachers also were coaching students. I was very well impressed, and then I said, okay, this is really the second home because I come from far, but I was not isolated at all. So I emerged and I grew and I connected with my second home. And actually, if I am what I am, it's because I found here people who showed me the way. And that's really this love that I have for the English club. That's the reason why, even if I'm so busy, I can't say that I don't have time for the English club. If I have achieved something, I think most of it I owe it to the English language, to the English department, and to the English club itself. That's what I can say.
So, when you were a student, did you have a role model? I mean, someone who inspired you to work hard so as to succeed?
Yes, I have a role model in my life, and probably you will ask me a question related to that. When I was very, very young, in primary school, at that time, the school program, we had a kind of Afrique Mon Afrique. And we were two classmates who only knew one hero in the book, that was Martin Luther King. I had one of my classmates who always wearing a t-shirt where you have the picture, and our school master used to say, who knows this guy? We were the only two who know who he is. There was one of his texts in the school curriculum, and it was entitled, Je fais un rêve, I have a dream. I read I Have a Dream when I was in primary school. It was in French. And I started having kind of love for real life situation. I started to know what it is exactly. Because when I was at elementary school, it coincided with the South African apartheid. Teachers used to focus, even if we did not have this critical thinking. The time everywhere it was written on the wall, l'apartheid est un crime contre l'humanité. When we see that sentence being, young students, that was high-level French, I could not understand it. So when I read it, then I connected it to Je fais un rêve. I was very curious. I talked to my school master. Already, I said, I love this man. There was a beautiful picture of one white kid and a black kid. And I said, what is the connection between this story and this thing, the sentence that people talk about South Africa? He gave me, a small narrative about what it is. I started being so much influenced by a person whom I did not know longer in my life would be my role model. That was Dr. King, Martin Luther King Jr.
So here at the university, you are mostly known under the nickname of King Jack. So could you have the ability to tell us where the king comes from?
I think I anticipated that. It came from this. Yes, that's a question that I love when people hear King Jad, they relate it to kingdom. I have no kingdom. I'm not a king of anybody. The whole story is that My classmates was in my group in northern part of Senegal in Podor from LH Babylon High School. They know very well what that is. When we were in second, premiere, and the big thing was, I'm not good at maths, and I was a terrible student. I will come back to that. People used to have, exam papers in, primary school, what they call Sambade. So I was so much confident in the math exam, and I made a big mistake. So I knew that mistake would impact my grade. I was a little bit frustrated. I was kind of mad with myself. And then I said, okay, no problem. Maybe I am going to read the whole book. When I read the whole book, I'm sure the dictation will come from there. And then fortunately, the dictation was about Lagarde Bowujulaso. There was no title. And they say, find a title for the text, and I put Lagarde Bowujulaso. People say, how did you realize that it was? And I said, okay, it's because I read it. And I came to reading, I came across I Have a Dream, Je fais un rêve by Martin Luther King Jr. And then I said, okay, as I said, today it is not going to be a kind of reading, it is going to be a kind of recitation. And when the teacher said, okay, go on, start. And then I crossed mine, he started saying, go to Mississippi, go to Alabama. That was in French. Retourne à Mississippi, retourne à Alabama, retourne à Georgia. And he said, this is not a recitation, it is a reading. I said, yeah, the problem is all the text is in my mind. So you see, it started from there. And when I tell my people my story, when I came to middle school, they couldn't see it. Every time I go, I was a kind of revolutionary, dedicated to the black cause I was reading. And in terminal, I was kind of taking my baccalaureate exam. So students, when they go to the library, they read, set books, philosophical books and everything. When I come to the library, I just read works by Martin Luther King. Every book by him, I read it. And one day the pastor came and he said, are you a student at university or no? Listen, I'm taking the, baccalaureate exam. I'm a terminal student. And you spend all your time reading this guy? What are you preparing? I say, I'm preparing a presentation. I have to lecture. He said, can you lecture? He said, I have to write a presentation. So it is individual for the English club. And he told me, so when you finish, please show me your work. And then I wrote the whole thing. When I finished, he said, no, he couldn't believe this is possible. I said, the problem is every book I have seen about him, I read it. This guy has influenced me. He is my role model. And then my classmates started calling me the Little King or King Ja or kind of that. You see, and it grew, so the name continued that until I came to university. It continued like that. It dates back to a very long story. So it is a kind of combination of Dr. King's name, it is Martin Luther King, and my own name, and then they combine it to put it King Ja like that. But many people, when they hear it, at random, they just believe that, what a problem, this guy is too much pretentious. But I'm very proud of that. Usually when people ask me, they say, okay, I would love those who ask me the question, I will explain to them what really it is about. It is a kind of, leadership, he is my role model, and kind of. That's the whole story. Many people do not know it. Some understand, those with whom I grew, those with whom I studied in middle school. Those of my generation, they know very well. When they used to come to my room on campus, they find every picture of Dr. King. Everywhere I go, if I have to spend a lot of time there, I go with his book. So that's why many of my friends, when they bring me presents, either they send me one of his pictures, or they send me kind of, his books. That's the whole story about King Ja.
Okay. So what are the advice that you can give to the students?
Advice, it is always important for people. And as you told me, every person in life needs to have a role model. So if you have them, they are a reference person, and it is important. So just work hard, because you guys have opportunities that we did not have. Just if I remember my experience in the English club, there are a lot of things that have changed. There are a lot of opportunities. This is a digital revolution. This is a digital generation. Actually, you are interviewing me. I think the latest interview I had with the English club, it was paper-based, it was written. So they send me questions. This shows that I have to encourage you to continue in this way, so we can keep records, we can keep track of what is going. So you need to save this. You need to have your own archive to show the people that history is moving, the society is making a lot of progress, and the English Club is alive. I'm very proud when I see English Club students, English Club members realize something or achieve something that used not to be done. That's a sense of pride to me. I feel very much satisfied because when I come to activities, I say, I know I identify myself as a busy person. That's what people believe, but I'm not busy at all. The thing is that yes, English Club has to invite me to do something. When the drum of the English Club beats, I'm not a good dancer, but I must dance for the English Club. It's because I belong to this community. It's because that's my second home. So I encourage you guys to continue this great job that you're doing, and you will see the results maybe later, and also to have more mobilization, to try to convince people to change the narrative. A lot of people say, English Club, I don't see that I don't find that it is relevant because it is a waste of time. That's a misconception. They don't understand very well. Because I usually say in the classrooms that class time is not sufficient. English is a language and you need to practice. The English Club just defined it as an intellectual enterprise. So it is a win-win concept. When you come, you learn from people, people learn from you. It's not a matter of level, so people socialize. You need to, avoid and to eliminate, gender differences or level differences. We just need to leave our commonality. That's the common denominator. That's English. We are all English lovers. We promote that. That's what we have to do. And you guys have been champions in this. So I advise you keep on the fire burning and the flag flying.
So what is your last word?
Yeah, my last word, I think I have to congratulate you. And I have to encourage you because you need the motivation to keep, records of what we have done or what you have done. I'm very proud when I see you as, members of the English Club, because it reminds me of those great moments. I had been Secretary General of the English Club once. It was in 27. And the following 26, it was 25, and 26 I was chairperson of the English Club. So that is more than 10 years ago. And later I became a supervisor and have decided to be coaching and mentoring. That is part of our leadership, because a leader is somebody who makes his community change. A leader is somebody who is endowed with vision and mission. And I'm quite convinced that you guys have a clear picture of the community, a clear picture of what is going on, and you've been involved in different activities all around, campus. You've been connecting to other English lovers, promoting English, not only promoting English because it is part of our culture. We know ourselves and we're doing our best. So you are, putting things in a higher level and proving that it's okay. Even if I am missing now a lot of activities, I'm very aware of the, achievements that you guys have proved, and it still do better because I know you can go further. That's what I have to say. Thank you so very much for this honor. It was a big pleasure. Today I just feel as if I was a member of the English Club again, or as if I was a student. And I think in life there is no memory, no kind of recollection better than this one. Because when I connect with students, it reminds me, great things of my life story as a former member of the English Club. So it's my pleasure. I thank you so very much. And I congratulate you and encourage you to go further and to achieve great things. And the last word is technology is a good tool for you guys. And the proof is here. I told you something like 10 years ago I was interviewed, but it was for the newspaper. And you guys come with sophisticated tools. So it means the world has progressed. It means communities have progressed. It proves also the English Club has progressed. So this is a kind of innovation. I'm not part of the founding fathers of the English Club. I cannot claim that because I told you I'm part of the 13 cohorts of this university. But if I claim something, I claim to be part of the revolutionary generation. Those who wanted to revolutionize the English Club. But I see another generation, very dynamic, which is yours, that realize this revolution because it has become concrete. There's a lot of innovations, and the innovation is here. So please profit from this. Keep records, have archive, have, you need to materialize everything. Keep the material so when next generations come, they will see that, their elders have done something. I hope still the things are there. You see the English Club album, we had some CDs. These were kind of fragile things. But now you have more sophisticated tools thanks to technology. Profit from that, and thank you guys. I have not yet seen any other champion, but for the time being, you the champions. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
I have a dream that one day this nation